In 1492, Columbus sailed the oceans blue. A year later, he saw a mermaid. Of the encounter, he said, "They're not so beautiful as they're said to be, as their faces have masculine traits, but I still defo would." Scholars now believe he was talking about a manatee. What would bring a man to fuck a sea cow? Well, he was a despicable genocidal cunt.
Today on Sexy Beast, Mermaids.
Fuck everyone's ears off.
So sexy. Are you a Loch Ness monster? Or are you Bigfoot, cryptid, supernatural vampires, banshees, Tony and Jago? Oops, there's a Wendigo. Hey, coming after me. Who the fuck said you could laugh at me, smack with me? With a Bigfoot dick you could slap with me? Blasphemy. You could dare come at me with a Bigfoot dick with a Loch Ness monster pussy? Baby, Sexy Beast.
Arse, matey. And welcome to Sexy Beasts, your foray into the menagerie of the unexplained. Loads of sea puns. Each podcast will be devoted to a specific creature, cryptid or monster. We discuss its history, its merits, and using our FEC analysis, we rate and review the beast against other creatures in a fucking such a stacked league table that a vampire doesn't even make it into the top 3. Be sure to listen all the way to the end, because we're going to be closing out the show with Freak Encounters, where we read your submitted stories about a time you came in contact with something really weird. Sometimes a ghost, sometimes a weird old man up the stairs. I am Captain Tony Cantwell, host of the new Goss.ie web game show Sailor Failure, where if you lose, you drown. And my co-host, as always, if he was a tree, he'd be Operation U-Tree, because he's a paedophile. Mark Jago.
What the fuck? You cannot use that one.
I don't have another one written, so I have to. I'm
I thought
sorry.
it was going to be a seamen joke or something.
Well, do you know what? I'm adapting a new positive aspect of my life. I hope I've sold this new positive aspect to you, where I'm not apologising for anything. So I say thank you for letting me call you a paedophile.
It's going to cause so many issues coming up. Thank you for letting me call you a paedophile. I'm not a paedophile, just for the record.
That's exactly what a paedophile would say.
I can't believe I have to say this. Anyway, mermaids.
He never seemed like that to me. That's what it says in Operation U-Tree.
You're really digging hard.
Anyway, Jesus, this thing's after you.
That's after me, isn't it?
This.
Sorry, we have like a mic, a extendable mic arm, and it just keeps coming from my face for some reason.
You never know. He might even be this mic arm might even be the next week's cryptid. But this week we are talking about mermaids.
Ariel.
That's racist.
No, it's not. It was from Little Mermaid.
Yeah, I know, but you can't do Jamaican accents.
Oh, but the crab wasn't Jamaican.
Yeah, but you can't do that. In fact, I don't even think we should be talking.
That's the end of that.
That's the end of that.
No, yeah, we're talking about the mermaids, otherwise known as a merwiff, a siren.
Don't you know? You have to say this to the. You have to say this to
the. Oh yeah, sorry.
Okay. Okay, you are at a under the sea.
You can't do that.
I did it fine. You're at a water party.
Okay, that's
talking to a fish or something.
Hey, how are you? Brilliant. I don't know what you're saying, but have you heard about the mermaid? You need to stop doing that. Otherwise known as a merwiff, a siren.
I'm wanking!
Can I explain to you about the mermaid while
yes,
you're wanking?
Please. I mean...
so usually depicted as a beautiful upper body, either man or woman, or doesn't assign a gender.
Mm-hmm.
Has a fish-like appendage at the bottom, either like a seahorse,
Oof.
a normal fish.
Now you're turning me on.
Or, like in The Little Mermaid, an octopus body.
An octopus butt.
An octopus. He has an octopus. Wolfman's got nards, if anyone doesn't get that reference. Just send an email to sexybeastpod@gmail.com.
I don't get brought back.
you like the mermaid is in same as the sort of vampire. Like in most cultures, there's always a history of. I think the sound of the sea is dying out slowly. Yeah, all weird. Yeah, for most history. The first mention of it is back in 1000 BC. This place called Assyria, which is Mesopotamia, and their goddess was actually so shamed she accidentally killed her mortal lover. She turned their bottom half into a fish, so she could never procreate.
I read, this is Assyrians are. Well, it could be the same thing because it's this Assyrian goddess Artargatis. I don't know. If it's the same name.
That's Artargatis.
So it was the first recorded one, and apparently she was a once powerful priestess who fell in love with a human, but his mortal body couldn't handle her divine powers in bed.
Oh my god!
And so he impregnated her, but he died.
Oh fuck!
Hey, what a way to go, huh?
Yeah,
what a way to go, man.
Her vagina was so powerful; she sucked the life out of him.
Do you know? Sometimes you see that like praying mantis, Yeah, man. Getting me head bit off while having the ride. What a way to go, man. What a way to go. But like having bad sex isn't great for anyone.
Yeah.
And
then dying
of it would be so. But then anyway, then she gave birth and tried to drown herself in the ocean. Maybe she had postpartum depression, but the gods took pity on her for her beauty, so they turned her into a mermaid. So that's a different spin on what you said, where she was so ashamed of herself that she got rid of her puss.
Got rid of her poos. Mermaids the world over, like there's loads in Russia as well. They're called nagas. Sort of like a
what are they called?
Like Nagi.
How's it said?
Naga. Don't say this. Don't do this.
No,
Western Europe as well. British Isles,
of which we are part and let us not forget it, my queen.
A weird one is so apparently in the British Isles there are signs of bad omens, but there's descriptions of them being over 2,000 feet tall, which is mental.
That's too tall.
That's too tall.
That's too big.
There's a lot of them as well. So apparently Alexander's great sister was a mermaid. That will come into fighting later. I'll explain a bit to you later about
Great.
that. But there's a tendency to associate like natural phenomenon with mermaids. So whirlpools are supposedly like the playgrounds of mermaids. Storms are the wrath of a mermaid. More water things are mermaids.
More water.
China has this type of mermaids as well, but instead of having scales, they have fine hair all over them, and when they cry, it turns into pearls.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's so Chinese.
Yeah.
No, just like if you were ever like, well, no, that's not Chinese, and I'm broadly speaking just about Asian cultures here, but that seems like something you would see in a karaoke video on Capel Street.
Well,
they're not Chinese. I know.
Yeah,
I think they're the.
Sorry,
Korean
I said Naga was the fucking snake creature from Thailand.
Fire Naga.
Naiads. I was talking about the Naiads, Russia and Slovakia and the Naiads. But they had the spirits of the unwashed, drowned. So Russia's always getting a bit fucking grimy with things, aren't they?
It's a very sweeping statement.
I don't know where that came from. It came from a fucking deep, dark hatred.
Jesus. And then also in Japan, you have the ningyo, which is a giant fish with a human face and a monkey's mouth. The best part, if you ask me. But if you don't want to fuck this thing, you can add it to your diet and you'll be given eternal youth and beauty.
Salmon and knowledge.
So you go to a lovely Japanese restaurant, they give this a fish there with a human face and a monkey's mouth. You lift open the lid and it's like, and you can eat that and it'll make you feel really good.
It's going to blow the fucking ears off. Like the start of it, you just scream like a dolphin.
No, Al's going to be pissed off because he'll have to balance it.
Do you want to like fuck him up more and be like,
fuck off.
Okay, cut that out. So we have a bit of a background about it, all right? So
no, I have more. You have Lucerne, a water spirit of the Caribbean islands, coming from the French la sirène, which is French for the mermaid, but also siren, and a siren of Greek mythology. I wrote Creek mythology here, Dawson's Creek. I don't want to wait for my life to be over. Beautiful as long as you can stuff wax in your ears. Like, yeah, she's a looker, but she can fucking cha. And then you have the Finn folk of Scotland and Norway, shapeshifters. They turn humans into slaves. And then in Africa, you have Mama Wata, translating to Mummy Water. And if you're nice to her, she'll give you her powers.
Oh, which be my nice.
Asadiga ibawai. I don't know. I think if you're
Just sound.
obedient, I'm a very obedient man. But like that's not a trait that But if you put me in a job, whatever, I wouldn't call myself loyal. Because if someone else
I don't
came
think you're
along,
obedient at all. I think you're a little messer. I think if you're putting a
you're
job,
not my boss though. But when I have a boss, I treat them like a dad, and I'm very obedient.
I've
to
heard
them.
the shit you've got up into your jobs before you started being a funny man, and
You've topped this with serious attitude. So I don't even want to hear what you have to say because of the tone of your voice here. You've also have Ea, spelled EA Sports. They're in the game. The Mesopotamian god of water, wisdom, magic, and creation. A merman himself who saved humanity after apparently creating it himself.
oh,
So there you go. So now you know what it is. How does it fight?
but
Yeah.
can it fight?
Sorry.
Fighting.
The levels are all over the gaff today.
Can this thing fight?
So yeah, back to the Britain thing. 2,000 foot tall.
Yeah, but okay. So then obviously we've seen it, have we? It's evidence of
Evidence
20.
100. This is what it's coming in. But like a quick rundown of its abilities, a bit like the vampire here now.
Yeah.
Has the power of hydrokinesis, can control water with its mind.
Oh, I love that.
Power of weather, storms, rain, can bring it along. Also can seduce men with its song and its shell bra. Can also has sonic screams that can damage the ears of people as well. Another thing here, so here's an attack. So apparently, as I said earlier, Alexander the Great's sister was a mermaid in mythology. She would ask any ship that was heading out to sea, is her brother still alive? And the correct answer was, yes, he's still alive and he will rule the world one day. And if you answered incorrectly, your ship would sink instantly.
Shit.
Yeah, so that's
Does
fucking...
that mean ship?
What? Shit, your shit would sink instantly.
Shit.
It was the first toilet in the world. You just had to lie and shit in the ground. There's a few attacks. There's not a lot of attacks. A lot of the stuff is sort of men wandering into their territory and being a bit more masculine about things.
Yeah.
Sort of like Jason the Argonauts being stripped or lashed to the sail so you could listen to them sing and stuff like that. But in Zimbabwe, have you read about this?
I've heard of Zimbabwe. Continue.
Two boys were playing in a dam by a local village and they got attacked by a creature which the locals described as a mermaid, or the description matched a mermaid. The two boys managed to escape when their parents arrived and dragged them out. As they were on the bank of the lake, like being like, oh shit, we survived, how unreal, the mermaid leaped out of the water, grabbed the two boys and drowned them. That's like the end of like a horror movie about mermaids. It's like, we made it.
That's like a Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, when what's his name? Samuel. Oh shit! Spoilers.
I haven't said anything.
Gets eaten by the
Gets
shark.
eaten by the shark.
Yeah. So there's that attack. Also,
I couldn't find any fighting, by the way. Sorry, that's why I'm being so mute.
yeah, I was wondering about that. There's a blue men of Minch. So basically, this is I love this.
I blew myself, Michael.
I blew myself, Michael. So it's called Blue Men of Minch. So basically, Minch is a small island, and I think it's off. I didn't get the exact locale, but I think it's off in Scotland. So they used to challenge captains to. It says rhyming battles, but I'm just picturing a rap battle.
No way.
Yeah, he said Blue Men of Minch. Are you yawning?
Yeah, I am yawning, but I'm listening to you.
That's fucking shite.
Do you know what, Jacob? I was up at 6:30 today and I went for a run.
How far do you run?
Doesn't matter. I ran for 40 minutes.
Oh, that's lovely.
Are you impressed with me?
Yeah, that's good. For you, it's good.
Okay.
No, it's great.
It was even before the sun was even up.
Oh,
And I didn't even see
did
the
you?
sun.
Oh, did
I
you?
was wearing high vis.
Did you run into the sun as it came up?
Yeah.
It's a good way to run.
Well, whenever the sun comes up, I like to do a little crane kick, just so if anyone's looking, it just has an incredible
Looks like,
silhouette.
was it fucking Karate Kid?
I don't get the reference.
I don't understand. This thing, I think, is more a force of nature than an actual creature.
I mean, it has the if we were to look at these powers, it has the power of like serious charisma. You know, charisma 100, because it can get you to do kind of whatever you want.
Beautifully sexy.
Beautifully sexy. And you know what? They are sexy. And I know everyone's like, well, where's its vagina? Like, I don't care. It has lovely jabs. And probably great personality as well, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's apparently...
And talented.
It can be a man as well, so men don't have jabs in this.
Maybe that, do you know, if that was a thing where it was a man's top half and it didn't have a penis, I might just go for that. If there's a sexual preference for that, I might choose that over a woman, to be perfectly
Oh yeah,
honest.
why?
Just nice to be held and didn't have no looming cock anywhere.
Oh,
you know?
just like
no threatening dick.
in your peripherals, you can just see it.
I just don't want to know it's
twitching.
there. I don't want to have a hug and then it turned into something that I didn't expect.
Yeah, does that happen a lot? I'd see, because as both men, we've never experienced the other side of it.
I'd love to be spooned. Terry's too small. Anyway, doesn't matter. In terms of fighting, yeah, I mean, also, do we want to believe that it has mystical tridents in terms of weaponry?
Oh, tridents, yeah. No, see, a lot of the attacks. So yeah, so there's this mythology behind it that it can control storms, it can fucking make giant buildings out of water and stuff. And then the attacks that you sort of read about are they're like almost like feral creatures that they're like someone just fucked a fish and this is what came out. You know what I mean? There's no sort of magic to it. I think it's not up there. It's not going to be a fucking strong fighter, but I think it can hold its own. Especially in the water-based ones. It's one of the strongest, except for the Kraken, obviously, because the Kraken would just probably eat like 7 of these in one go.
We should never have brought the Kraken into this.
Yeah, I think I have to do that.
I've given it a fighting.
Oh.
4.
Fuck, that's pretty low. I said 5. 2,000 feet tall, though.
You know it's not. Don't just smile at me.
613 meters.
That doesn't matter. Like, you know it's not. Like,
How do you know it is?
excellent question. You spun it on its head and I don't know what to say. You know it's not. You know, if someone said, if we were hanging around at a party and you were like, yeah, Mermaid, it's, what was it, 200 feet tall?
2,000.
2,000 feet tall.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'd hear it, not bring it up and just ignore that you'd said that.
And then you bring it up and make a song about it some other time. Like, Jacob thinks it's 200,000 feet tall.
Come on,
do you know what? I'll give it a 5.
Give it 4. Give it 4.
No,
give it 4.
Can I just say, at the live show, you mysteriously lost my...
You didn't email it to me, and I only have it. I can't play it off WhatsApp.
Embarrass me, even when people chose my score.
Give me 4.
All right, I'll give you 4.
Yay!
Haha! This goes out to long-haired comedians. Air quotation marks. Ha
Such a weird love.
Defer.
Only deeper if you're an idiot.
He's an idiot.
I hope you learned your lesson from this.
No, he didn't.
Eating someone's cold chips and getting thrown out cause you're a dumb shit. This means that Tony is an idiot.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we have that at a fighting of 4. But is it even real? Is it real?
Is it
it real?
Is it? I'm loving
my own jokes. I sometimes listen back and think, Jesus, I laugh at my own jokes quite a lot.
What is the evidence, sir? I'm just writing something down.
Let's not talk about the score yet.
Well, in the same way that we gave the vampire and something else credit for existing, like this is what I'm thinking, right? So there's one in Russia. There's Scotland, Norway. There's
Christopher Columbus scene.
Inuits. Christopher Columbus saw one. I'll get to that in a second. Siren of Greek mythology. You know, Caribbean islands, Japan, Mesopotamia. I mean, they are all completely independent of each other. Is the idea of conjuring up in your imagination someone who lives in the sea, is that actually a crazy revolutionary idea to someone? Or is that just any child would be like, is there sea people as well?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, because we know about mermaids. Would that thought cross your mind?
Yeah, our brain's already polluted with the thought of a mermaid, so you can't really have a blank statement. But like, if I could talk to my nephews and nieces or something like that, and I just like, imagine someone lived in the sea, what would you draw them from, or something like that? Yeah. I think it might be just people have always been so fascinated.
Draw them wearing only this.
Only wearing this. The people have been so fascinated by the sea that they always just sort of imagine in the deep there is. But there has been a lot of sightings for this, considering more sightings for this than the vampire.
Well, because I haven't found many, let me tell you about Christopher Columbus, which I already brought up. He saw a mermaid and said, he didn't say he'd ride it, but he said, not so beautiful as they're said to be, as their faces have quite masculine traits. Did he see a merman?
A lot of people say he was a manatee.
People think it was a manatee.
Yeah.
But he was so horny that he thought it was a sexy woman.
Sexy woman. It's a bit like a mirage.
It's like when you go to a boys' school and even the most basic looking teacher is like, oh my God, I do Anton.
Do Anton.
I do Anton.
Oh, brilliant. In Blackbeard the Pirate, actually, here's one for you. In his logbook, he had marked where he didn't want to go because he was too afraid of mermaids in the water. That's a mad one, isn't it?
Really?
Yeah. And also, in 1614, John Smith of Jamestown fame said he saw a green-haired woman swimming gracefully around his boat. He looked out and began to feel the start of love. He was tempted to pull the boat over, but then he realised that she had a bottom part of a fish and didn't want to fuck her.
Oh, God.
In 1881...
That's like the worst catfish ever.
It's a literal
I don't quite understand. No, but I mean, like, if you meet someone online and they're not what they seem, that's like this with a mermaid, you'd be catfished.
Yeah, this is a literal catfish.
Sorry, Jago, I don't know what you're talking about.
She's a fish. But in 1881, a fisherman saw a mermaid, but he described it as a hideous creature with sharp fangs and a feral cry. So he's describing it more like as an animal rather than this mythological creature. In 2004, this is a weird one. So in a small bay, I have it here written down somewhere. Yeah, but basically in Israel, they saw like dozens of people saw a mermaid jump out of the water and do a backflip.
Jesus.
And then swim away. And the local town put up a prize of 1 million. What's in Israeli money?
Lira.
Lira. It's not lira, is it?
No.
But 1 million of Israeli monies.
And what do you mean don't say something like what? I was going to say something racist?
Yeah.
Something like
Don't.
Fucking Israeli money. I'll tell you what it's called. I'll tell you what it's really called. No, am I messing?
Yeah, but like the local town put up 1 million to see if someone can capture it. And obviously there's a lot of hoax and stuff like that. So in 2004, there was a tsunami in Fiji, and a lot of...
Oh yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah, it was pretty horrible. But afterwards, a lot of people started selling fake mermaids, saying these were washed up on shore, okay? Big deal, not big deal, they're all hoax or whatever, and everyone's like, that's a hoax or whatever. Except for one seller who wouldn't sell it. The government turned up and confiscated it off him. Which, that got me fucking wet, like, wet.
I don't understand.
I don't quite understand this wet concept. Yeah, so the seller was he was homeless due to this. He described it. He wouldn't sell it to anyone, and eventually some men turned up and confiscated it off him because they said it was another hoax, but it was never seen from again.
Very interesting. Whenever the MRB get involved, I'm always very damp for that.
Yeah, it's like because once a government gets involved, you know there's some shady dealings going on.
The thing is, though, like I know we say this a lot. I get the vibe, though. Would the government, like, does the government get involved with like a Bigfoot or a chupacabra, or do they only get involved with like aliens? You know what I mean? Like, why would they not allow the idea? What would be the government conspiracy of hiding mermaids?
It's sort of like I've thought about this as well. Like, so say if no one had seen a tiger before. And then someone's claiming they've seen a tiger, would the government like stop all the tigers being seen, or would they like try and hide them, stuff like that? There's no real reason to do that
unless they were looking to protect them.
Yeah, or unless they provided something for the government to use. So say there's some sort of gland that mermaids have.
It gives all the MIBs massive boners.
Yeah, like it's Viagra times 10.
Although, to be fair, if we didn't know what a tiger was, it actually would be class if they hid it from us, because then there'd be more of them, and then they wouldn't be hunted. Maybe it's maybe it's a preservation.
Yeah, it's a preservative measure.
Yeah.
Maybe they're doing that. Maybe there's only a couple of mermaids left in the world and they don't want people to know about it, so they're not hunted to extinction because they give massive boner pills.
Well, in 1842, The Greatest Showman, P.T. Barnum, who was recently played by
Hugh Jackman.
Had a mermaid on display, and it was part fish and part top. It was a skeleton, part top humanoid.
Yeah, so basically they did tests on that, and it turned out to be a monkey sewn
sellotaped to a fish.
Sellotaped even. But another one sort of similar to that, there was another circus guy, and he got same sort of scenario. They tested it, and the test returned inconclusive.
We need to get a sting for that.
Yeah, I haven't done it in a while though.
Right. I know we're tight on time. We still have cool and freak encounters, but let me explain to you why it probably couldn't happen.
Okay.
From a biologist point of view, the human part of the body would not be able to handle that temperature because there's no scales, there's no blubber, there is no hairs that turn into pearls,
Tears.
And humans and fish are, like, this is not even like mammals. You know what I mean? I wasn't confident with that.
Yeah.
But they're not even mammals. Like, so this kind of hybrid thing.
But what about a platypus? Platypus has a scaly tail.
I'm sick of you winning every argument by saying platypus.
Yeah. But I'm going to play the DA, devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
So most people do think that it was just cabin fever and manatees.
Yeah.
But also beluga whales. Now, because beluga whales actually have human knees. Now, this sounds like a fucking something mental to say, but if you see a beluga whale, Tony's lost his shit here.
Knees.
If you ever see a beluga whale's knees, they look like someone's wearing a fake mermaid outfit. I'll send you a picture of it now, right?
Okay, I'll look it up in a sec. But another thing, actually, sorry, this was more the kind of positive thing. 80% of the ocean is unmapped and unexplored. 80%.
So that's a huge amount. Like we'd be ignorant to think that there isn't something that we haven't discovered out there.
Exactly, and we're basing our stance on that they probably don't exist on the 20% that we have loosely explored.
Yeah. What is it like? We know more about the universe than we do, or space than we do the actual.
But that's not true.
That's that
People
one
say
always
that all the time. It's bollocks.
Okay, Tony, I just sent you a picture of a beluga whale turning.
Okay, excuse me.
Let's see his reaction live.
Okay. Oh my God, it does have knees. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, look how weird that is.
That's weird.
That's so weird. Yeah, we'll put it up on the Instagram because we need to start doing that more when we're talking about some pictures, putting it up. So after all that nonsense we talked, what are you going to give it?
I'm going to give this thing an evidence of 5.
I give it evidence 5 too.
Not looking good.
I know. I wanted it. I think the selkie got more, even though it's like it is a subspecies.
Yeah, I know. Okay, but we all know about that. Yeah, but is it cool? Cool, baby.
I think it's cool.
It's fucking cool. It's way up
Mermaid
there.
is cool. Like,
it's everywhere.
It's like there's over. Little Mermaid, made by Hans Christian was upgraded its popularity. A lot of it before that was salty sea dogs and dripping seamen. But then he brought it to the mainland with his story and stuff like that. Obviously, there were stories before it, but this sort of became. And now in the world, there's over 130 public art pieces dedicated to the Little Mermaid.
I mean, why do you think girls love, and guys do too, but why do you think that girls love mermaids? I have zero interest in it.
Yeah, it doesn't like it. It is cool, but it never sort of piqued my interest or something like that.
Also, I am a 31-year-old man.
Yeah,
but still, not growing up.
But like, there's people in America who specifically sell like mermaid skirts for people to swim in and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big business, you know.
Big business, yeah.
Not a huge business, but I don't know. We might have to get like a woman's opinion on something about this.
If you're a woman, what's going on? What's the crack?
Yeah, but like when I was growing up, it was vampires, it was werewolves, it was Frankenstein's monster. Mermaids, like what's the?
I suppose Ariel is
it's freedom.
stunningly beautiful, and having like loads of cool cute friends under the sea is quite cool.
And everyone's always like,
But it has to be Ariel is like, the cause of that.
No, but like, people are always like, oh, you have mermaid hair. Like, what's mermaid hair mean? Like,
Ooh,
wet?
remember the mermaids from Hook? And like, we're scoring them.
Oh, yeah. That's hot.
I
don't know. I think it is a real sort of growing up. You've seen The Little Mermaid. It's attracted to all these sort of things. I think it's undeniably cool. Like, it's Splash. Little Mermaid, obviously. Pollo.
Oh yeah, Pollo.
That was so fucking cool.
The show H2O.
H2O Re-Wet. The remake of that. It's not called Re-Wet. I just made that up.
Oh, okay.
Ariel.
And Ariel herself. I mean, this is a weird stance on this because I have to defend its coolness, but I don't find it particularly cool.
Yeah, like I understand what you say. I don't agree with it, but I'll fight for your right to say it.
Yeah. So I've given this a cool of 8.
8. Same here.
Lovely.
Nice little link up at the end anyway.
Beautiful little link up there. And with that, we have a combined score of 17. Putting it in joint 20th place.
Oh, Jesus, that's pretty low for a mermaid. Where's the Selkie?
The Selkie. Oh, the Selkie's 15 because we didn't give it very high fighting or evidence. We gave it, or much cool. We didn't really believe it. I still like the Selkie. And I still like the Mermaid, but you're in joint 20th place, love. You're behind the Loveland Frog and the Mothman.
If someone can write in and tell us why a mermaid's cool, we might try and give it an extra bonus 2 points.
Might try to give it a bump. Also, quick story. You know the way that was just playing there, an extra YouTube video?
Yeah.
When I was making last week's weird little stand-up thing, I was looking for crowd sound effects, and it went on to other sound effects, and one of them was like this door knocking, an hour compilation of door knocking, right? To like kind of like make your dog relax to get used to door knocking. And I was freaking out, kept knocking, and I was opening the door, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was closing it, and then I thought it was someone like outside knocking, so I was like knocking back on the door, do. And the thing about the video is it builds up, it gets really loud. So when I was in my room, I was like, fuck off, and screaming, there's no one there. And then I took off my headphones and I realized it was gone, and then it was back on, and then I realized I've been listening to a 1 hour compilation of door knocking on YouTube.
I can picture, where's Terry at this point?
She was at her real job, and I was at mine. So there you have it. Mermaids could be won over by it. Write in sexybeastpod@gmail.com.
Tell us why mermaids are cool to you.
Tell me why mermaids are cool. Here's a little freak encounter for you.
Freak encounters.
Oh, brilliant. Mark Jago, who is this week's freak? Hell. Mark Jago, who is this week's freak encounter from?
This week's freak encounter is from Mike.
Thanks. Okay.
I don't know his second name. It could be.
No, that's fine. Mike, thank you so much for sending this in. We really do appreciate it. And if you would like to send in a freak encounter, please do so. sexybeastpod@gmail.com, or do you know what? Just hit us up on the Instagram. That's always good too. Here we go. Just waiting for the little drop.
A few years back, a friend and I went out for a few days hiking as part of a longer foreign holiday. After walking about 20 kilometers in the hills, on day 1, we reached our planned stop for the night. The town in the foothills of the mountain range sat at the altitude where the dense clouds gathered. The warped wood of the buildings and the dour demeanor of the aged locals made it seem like these clouds never lifted. It's a long time ago, but I remember noticing the grip of the guest house owner persist a little as she handed over the key to her last remaining room. My mate and I were to share a twin room. It was an old-ass establishment made entirely of wood,
Many of the corners had holes eaten or rotted into them. Every floorboard creaked, and none of the doors closed flush. Old ass for a building in this part of the world might only mean 25 or 30 years, but apparently that's old enough to have history. I remember being pointed out by a few of the workers to other local people as we had our dinner with everyone else in residence that evening. We didn't think too much of it. We looked different to everyone else. After maybe 2 beers each, we went into our room. We intended on starting off early the next morning. We passed 3 native men playing cards at a small table outside the room on our way. Their chatter actually stopped when they saw the room that we were booked into. I was like, okay, this is all becoming a little cliche. The 2 beds were against opposite walls of an otherwise empty rectangular room. We pretty much got into our beds. I went to sleep cold. I'm going to play just for the last part to get music back. In the middle of the night, I woke up to see the silhouette of a thin man standing over me. My body was welded in place as he leaned down to bring his face towards mine. For a brief second, his eyeballs caught the moonlight. At least until he slowly brought a pillow up into my view. Breaking our locked gaze, he placed it on my face, and I started to lean further. Mike! I woke up, again shaken. I looked over to my mate's bed, who was up to his elbow. He was up on his elbows looking over to me, pale and wide-eyed. I said, "Thanks for waking me, man. I was having a terrible..." "I swear there was someone standing at your bed. Are you alright?" he interrupted. Didn't sleep much more that night. Oh my fucking God, man. Jesus.
Very well written.
Incredibly well written. Mike, thanks so much for sending that in. That has got to be the spookiest shit we've had in here.
Yeah.
So a thin man coming after you. Snatch up your windows, or whatever it says. Mike, thanks so much for sending that in. Do you know, Jago, do you have any proverbs of the sea?
Proverbs of the sea. I do. Here's one. Not everyone that dives into the water is a mermaid. I don't know what that means.
You're so sexy. Are you a Loch Ness monster? Are you big but cryptid? Supernatural vampires, banshees, Tony and Jago. Oops, there's that Wendigo. Hey, coming after me. Who the fuck said you could laugh at me, smack with me? With a Bigfoot dick you could slap with me? Blasphemy. You could dare come at me with a Bigfoot dick and a Loch Ness monster pussy? Bay sexy beast.
This has been a pod stop.
Splash.
I'm a fish wanking, mate. This has been a production of the Head Stuff Podcast Network.